In this video, we are going to be talking about the differences between industry groups and product groups within the investment banking division. Whew. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. In last week's video, we spoke about the different areas within the investment banking division. So M&A, equity capital markets, debt capital markets, leverage finance, and restructuring. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking a bit more about those areas, but specifically focusing on industry and product groups, which will make more sense as we go along in this video. Okay, so as an intern or an analyst, when you join the investment banking division, you will either, for the most part, work or start in an industry group or a product group. Now, what that means is you're going to be a specialist in either M&A or equity capital markets, or DCM, or leverage finance, or restructuring. You're going to be specifically working in one of these areas. Now, if you're an industry group analyst, if you work in the industry groups, you're going to be a specialist in either of the various industries that are available, such as healthcare, TMT, which is technology, marketing, and telecommunications, industrials, financial institutions, so on and so forth. And so that's the key difference. There's industries, industry groups, and there's products or product groups. Now, if you start out in the product group as opposed to the industry group, let's say you work in M&A. Out of all M&A, ECM, DCM, leverage finance, restructuring, let's say you become an M&A person. You're going to be doing M&A across the industries. So if there's a deal in the healthcare industry, you might work on that. If there's a deal in the tech industry, you might work on that. Industrials, financial institutions, whatever it might be, you might work on those. So you're quite varied in your industries, but all the work you do is strictly M&A. Similarly, if you're an ECM person, all you're going to do is ECM deals, and it might be across industries. On the flip side, if you're a industry person, if you're in healthcare, every deal you see is going to be healthcare specific. However, it might be an M&A deal that you work on. It might be a ECM, DCM, leverage finance, restructuring. The deals will vary in terms of the product, but your industry, healthcare, will stay the same. And so that's something for you to be aware of before going into your applications or before going into interviews, because they might ask you, as an intern, you'll probably do a lot of different things. They just want to give you an insight into what is available, but it's important to know going into the interviews and your, internship, for example, what you're most interested in. Leverage finance and M&A, for the most part, people want to go into those because they have good exit opportunities into private equity. As private equity firms, they take over companies, they do a lot of leverage buyouts, so the work in leverage finance and M&A is relevant for private equity companies. And so if you've worked in M&A or leverage finance, it's usually easier for you to move into a private equity firm. And typically it's harder to move from equity capital markets into private equity firms compared to if you worked in M&A or DCM or leverage finance. And that's primarily because of the nature and the crossover of the work that you do. So it's important to know these differences. So once again, if you work in a product group within the investment banking division, you will be specific to one product, whether it's M&A, ECM, DCM, leverage finance, or restructuring, but you will have access across industries. And if you're an industry person, you are focused on one industry, let's say healthcare or tech. However, you will have access across products. So it's important to choose between the two, distinguish which one is more interesting to you. Now, this isn't a perfect science. It's not exactly like that. There are 3 other key roles that are very important within the investment banking division, and naturally you will slot into one of these. Now, there is origination. This is where you are prospecting. You're trying to get clients, you're pitching to clients your ideas and potential deals. Secondly, there is advisory. So this is where you are advising companies on what to do with their money, what to do with their equity or their debt, how to do a takeover, how to do a merger, etc. And then third, which is a combination of both of these, is the coverage groups. So you do a bit of prospecting, you do pitching, and you also do advisory. Now, that's a lot of information to take in, but it's important for you to know, especially if you're a university student, because when it comes to your investment banking division interviews and internships, all of this will make a lot more sense, but it's good to know it now so you're aware of it going in. If you found this video useful or insightful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you turn on post notifications. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave any comments or questions in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.